Hi friends, this is Linda Hicks from Scrap Stars Paper Crafting. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to make a beautiful layout using that Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. And I'm super excited. I'm also using those cute little die cut butterflies. So let's get started. Hi everybody, this is Linda Hicks. I am so happy that you're joining me for another week of scrapbooking layouts on Sunday afternoon or evening. We are going to make another layout with a gorgeous Perennial Lavender paper. Now last week, if you remember, I showed you how I did this gorgeous layout. Could go either way. It's called, I lost my little dot on my eye, but it's called Simply Lovely, and I used the designer series paper from Stampin' Up, which is called Perennial Lavender, and I just think it turned out gorgeous. So this week we're going to do another layout using the same paper suite, or designer series paper as they call it. And I've got some light purple cardstock that blends well with the paper that I'm using. And then I've got a couple pieces of like beige or light tan cardstock that also blends really well. So what I'm going to do with my first page is I'm going to trim this because I want this to have a little bit of a border going around it, but I want it to connect. So I'm only going to take, let's see, how much do I want to take off? I think we want it to be about a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off one side of my beige paper. And so I'm just going to put it in my paper trimmer, measure it at a 1/2 inch. And then my second piece of, or second side, I'm going to turn it. And now I'm going to do 1 inch. And that should make it an even border all the way around because I'm going to bring it to the center. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So see how if I take a 1/2 inch off this side here and a whole inch, if I brought it down, it'd be like that. But because I want it to be in the center so it goes all the way across, my layout will go all the way across, I'm going to do just a 1/2 inch off this side and a whole inch off this side, so I have a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I know a lot of you guys know this already, but for those that are just starting out scrapbooking, it can be challenging. So I'm going to take, again, a 1/2 inch off the one side. And then I'm going to take a whole inch off the second side because I wanted a 1/2 inch border around the other two sides. So here we go. And it's just like magic. I'm going to move this out of the way. And so now I have my two-page layout. So when there isn't a gap in between and they go right together like this, it will look like this is all going across like that, one with a nice 1/2 inch border all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that on, and I'm going to line these up here. So, and the other thing that you could do, which I didn't do, since this paper, I'm not using this part of the paper, I could gut this at about an inch, and an inch, and then just lay this on top so that the frame is behind it, and then I would save all of this paper to use on another project. But I'm not really too worried about it, so I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and adhere my paper completely to this side. I'm going to go ahead and line this up at 1/2 inch and then 1/2 inch here. A little off angle wise, so let's pull that up so that I know that I'm actually being even. There we go. So 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Put my adhesive on here. Go crazy with my adhesive. I go through adhesive like there is no tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Pull that up. So now I'm going to do this again. I'm going to bring this right to the very edge on this side. And then bring it down 1/2 inch here. And then it should be right at, which it is, 1/2 inch there. Okay, so now those are my 2 base pages. Now I'm going to bring in a couple pieces from the designer series paper. It's so pretty. I just love these purples. So beautiful. And this too, I mean, it's got the little vine on it, but on this side, it was the other paper that I used for the layout for the first page. See this paper here? So I'm just using the piece that I didn't use on this side. And so I turned it over and I'm going to use this part. So let's measure these. They should be 10 inches. Whoops, go to the top. 10 inches by 7. And that's this piece, the brown or tan with the vines. And this beautiful piece, I love it, with the purple vines, is 10 inches by 4. And I'm going to go ahead and center those at 1 and 11. I'm going to center this one first at 1 and 11. I'm glad I put a new one in here because I'm going to really, I probably use the whole thing. So this is at 11. This is at 1 inch on my thing for measuring, so it's nice and even. And then I'm going to put adhesive on this side. Such a fun and easy layout. These papers just are so gorgeous. My granddaughter has at church today wore a little purple dress, and I was like thinking, why didn't I bring my camera so I could take some pictures of her and, and so I could put them on these layouts. So I'm going to have to dress her up one day when I'm watching her to do that. So now I'm going to take this piece of paper. This is measures at 10 inches also in length. And I wanted the vine going up and down by 5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that on. And you can see I went ahead and used more of that paper that I had left over. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring it right to 11 and 1 inch. Oops, let's go. So I'm going to have to get that dress out from my daughter and take her and get some pictures so I can put it on these beautiful layouts. Because that would just match. Her cute little dress would just match so perfect. Okay, so then this next piece is 6 inches by 10 inches. And I'm going to just line it right up next to that piece with the vine, or it kind of almost looks like wheat. So here we go. I'm going to put that right next to that. And so now see how I have this nice border going all the way across and then a nice purple. It just pulls in all those colors really pretty. All right, so this is, again, just something very simple. I am going to go ahead and then line up. I'm using, I cut these at 6 1/4 inch and 4 1/4. These are my photo spots. And I did this so that I have, let me show you my little photo placement cards that I put in until I get the photo there. So that I have, oh, a little border. Oh, maybe I didn't cut them that way. Maybe I cut them a little smaller. Well, let's go ahead. I usually cut them a quarter. So, oh, I know, because I was going to do it like this. I was going to do an off center. That's why. Okay, so, and I cut these at 4. I knew there was a reason. Cut these at 4 by 6, and then my photo would be 4 by 6. And I'm just going to place my photo like so that it has a little border. This is a little corner border like that, just for some interest. So I'm just going to put a little dab here to hold this in place until I can get my actual real live photo in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you know, I usually like to have a border go all the way across, but when I was scrapbooking with my daughter, which I don't do very often because she's got a 3-year-old and works full time and goes to school. That poor kid. She is a busy mom. We were scrapbooking and she did this, and I just thought that was kind of clever. It just adds a little interest. She did this because she cut her paper wrong, but you know, that goes to show it doesn't matter. You know, even if you cut your paper wrong, you can make it work. And it looked so cute. Now I'm copying her. So I'm going to put this one up here. And let's move this down just a little bit. See, I don't put a lot of adhesive on there, so I can take this off and put my real picture on there. Although you could leave it on and then have like a little white border on there as well. Okay, now that I laid it down again, I have to pull it back up. All right, got to watch what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to line these kind of even so that they're straight. I'm going to go ahead and put them like this and maybe have like a 1/2 inch in between. Okay. So I'll put this one like about right. I want that to move right about there, so we'll put this right about here. Okay. And put that one right about there. Let's even that out so it looks good. Okay. I'm kind of whispering to myself because I do that when I scrapbook. I talk to myself. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this placement card here and just have it a little off center. Oops, I got that upside down, my placement card. I guess for a placement card, it really doesn't matter, but I've got it upside down. It says place your 3x4 photo there. Okay, so this piece was 3x4. These are 4x6, the backs, and then I'm going to put my photos on top. All right, so this is a little trick that I'm doing. You can either do a Cricut. This is a retired Stampin' die cut, so you would have to use a Cricut cut here for your title or one that you have in your stash. And when I do die cutting, sometimes when I do titles, I want them to stand up a little bit more and give them some dimension, but I don't want to mess with all that dimensional tape and then have some, like this is a thin line, have some of it kind of hang down and some of it straight. So what I do is I cut like 4 or 5 extra die pieces that match what I'm going to use, and then I glue them on top of each other, and it gives them just enough depth, not a lot, and it holds that title in. So I was practicing with colors just to see which color I like the best, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. I like to use liquid glue with these really fine letters. So, but you got to be really careful and not get crazy with your liquid glue. And of course, when you first get it out, it's not going to come out easy. So let's, ooh, there we go. All right. So I'm just going to put a really thin line right around here. And and right around in here, and then up around my letters here, and there, and there, and there. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. And the reason I like this green glue is it doesn't dry immediately. I do have some glues that I really like, but they dry immediately. This one doesn't dry immediately, so that it gives me a chance to, if I don't get this perfectly lined up on the very first second that I lay it down, it's not going to dry on me. And I can kind of move my title around a little bit to get it just the way I want it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and glue that down because I think that looks really good. But again, like I said, this is a retired stamp and die that I had, and you can use one that you have that would fit in that space. It's about about 5.5 inch space right here for your title. So you can use a die cut. I was gonna use a die cut from Cricut, but I had this stamp and die and I just thought it fit perfect because it says cherish every moment. And so now I'm just going to center this and kind of put this right here. Perfect. And is that straight? Yeah, when you use glue, you want to make sure you get it just the way you want it, because that's why I like this glue, because it gives me a little bit of leeway so I have a little bit of movement. Okay, that is perfect. So now I'm going to take these little die cuts, and I talked to you about this last week. These beautiful butterflies are a die that comes from Stampin' Up. They come in a pack of like 10. No, they come in a pack of 8. So you get 8 packs, 8 sheets of these beautiful butterflies, and then you've got like different sizes, some are in different patterns, and I use these on these really pretty layouts. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of play a little bit here with how I want my stuff to lay on there. This one's a little darker. Love that. So I got some dark and light going on. I think I'm going to put it like right about there. So I'm just going to carefully, I'm sorry, I'm going to be off camera here for a moment. Carefully kind of glue these together. In a way that I think looks pretty. I am going to put my green on in the background just to kind of give it a little more fluff like that. And then I'm going to just kind of set it right in here. Oop, I got it a little close to that picture. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, just because this is a little bit movable, I'm going to go ahead and move this picture over just a tad. And then move this one over just a tad. So I have a little more room for my creative stuff here. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I want that sticking so far over, so let's unstick that just a little. Try to bring that in and get that to unstick. Don't you love it? Watching somebody else struggle with their designs. There we go. And then I'm going to kind of put it like right about like that. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe even a one down here would look really pretty too. And then I'm going to put my little butterfly kind of coming. He doesn't have a whole lot of room there. So maybe, here I go. Maybe I'll move him over a little bit too. There we go. A little forgiving. So now my title's not straight. Nah, I don't like that. Let's move it back because I like my title to be straight. All right, so we'll put the butterfly. I think I'll put the butterfly over here. I'll just put put another little piece right there and put my butterfly right there. Add a little adhesive there. And add a little bit to my butterfly. The neat thing about these butterflies too is that you can do a lot with them. I might even pop that butterfly up since I popped my title up. You can also take Wink of Stella, make them a little shiny. You can take your ink and blending brush and blend them and change the colors. They're just really a pretty little accent to your layouts. So there's that page. Now we're going to move over here, and I'm going to go ahead and line these up. I'm going to have them like this. One photo over here, and I'm going to try to line it up so it's right about the same as the one on the other side, but make it even on these things. And then this one is going to go here. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I might want it down. Okay, I'll bring it down a little bit. And then I have this one right here. I'll put that kind of right here. Okay, I might move this over just a tad more, because my pictures are all going to be a little off center too. So this is going to be a little off on the outside. And if you don't like the off look and you've cut your pieces like at 4 by 6, you can always just, on a picture, there's always just a little bit you can trim off the edge. So you could just trim off just a little off your edge too, to get it to be the way you want it. Okay, so I got that one like that. And we'll do one more here. And this one I actually got right. So there's that. And now I'm going to take this little cluster right here and put my little butterfly and cluster right in here, like so. So I like that pretty well. Might even change it and put, because I used stuff that I can actually not, oh yeah, I think I like that better. I'm going to take this off here. This is a creative process, so yeah, I think I like the little butterfly there better because he's in the flowers kind of. I'm going to have him peeking like right there. Yeah, I like that much better. I think that looks so much better. Okay, so now I'm going to just go ahead and adhere this greenery to the back. A little glue on there, kind of like lay that there, and then I'm going to start building my layers. Oopsie, not that. Oh, what I didn't tell you is, I think I started to tell you, just like I did last week, I used, these are die cuts. There is a lavender, perennial lavender stamp and die cut that has these really pretty lavender pieces, and then you can stamp them. I did not get that. So what I am using is the textured floral, and it comes with all of these stamps like this, but it also comes with these dies. Let's see if I can find where I laid the dies. They're right here, so that you can see. It comes with all of these dies like this, and so I thought that this looked like the lavender, so that's what I used. And I just used scraps of my lavender paper from when I was cutting for the layouts and cards that I was making earlier this month. And so I just used scraps, and then that, and I you can see this one is that one, and this is this one, and then there's a green, oh, right here, this one right here. And then they have leaves and they have other flowers and stuff that match your stamp set. But I already had this one and I thought that worked really well with this. So I decided not to purchase the lavender set, although it is gorgeous, all in its by itself. So let's go ahead and finish making this, layer this up. Now my fingers are going to be all sticky. Okay, I don't want that too crazy. There we go. Got that there, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Put that one right there. Here we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my bigger butterfly now. It doesn't, just put a little more adhesive on it and put it down here, right there. So here is our finished layout. Wow. And I am pretty pleased with it. I did not tuck these down because I'm going to want to push my picture underneath here. But, and I, you know, when I glued this, I glued just the center so I can tuck my picture up underneath. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned some things, and happy scrapping. See you next Sunday.